Three things that I liked about your essay. The first one is just your overall topic, which was wrestling. Personally, I don't know anything about wrestling, and when I had the opportunity to read yours, I was appreciative to have like a change of pace and learn more about something that I don't know anything about. The next thing that I liked was your introductory paragraph. I feel like this definitely can serve as a solid foundation when you're introducing your main idea and your argument, especially for those who don't know anything about wrestling. It was a good idea to provide some background information about that. And then the next thing that I liked was how informative your essay was. Like I said before, I don't know anything about wrestling, so I appreciated that you did like the history of wrestling and you summarized it pretty well. So I feel like I have a solid understanding of how the wrestling community has progressed in relation to the media. Three things that I was confused about. Your first one is I'm not really sure what your argument is. In your first paragraph, I don't see it. And when I read through your whole essay a couple times, I just don't know what you're exactly arguing. I just don't see an argument. Uh, the next thing that I wanted to talk about was your third paragraph. I'm confused on how this fits in with what you're talking about because in the paragraph above it, you were talking about the pay per views. And then in the paragraph below it, you're talking about the divided territory. I just am wondering how this information relates to those two things. And then the next thing that I wanted to talk about was your eighth paragraph, this one. Um, I just don't understand how it ties into your overall topic, which is why pro wrestling predicts the future of media. Because in this paragraph, you're talking about how the characters are constantly changing. And then three things that I'd like to read more about. In your introductory paragraph, you mentioned the National Wrestling Alliance. I had no idea that there was a wrestling alliance that divided the United States into territories. All of that was foreign to me and definitely new. I definitely would like to read about how well this worked when it came to maximizing the profits and like preventing competition between companies. The next thing that I wanted to read more about was you mentioned that people watched Impact on Twitch. I just thought Twitch was a service used by gamers to stream what they were playing. I had no idea that there was other topics that people streamed on there that weren't related to video games or something. So, yeah. And the next thing that I wanted to know more about was Vince McMahon. You said he was a game changer when it came to promoting the wrestling community. I thought this was really interesting that his idea of the pay per views was completely ahead of the media curve. Not only was wrestling ahead, but just the idea of pay per views, and not only was it ahead, it also served as a blueprint that completely changed the television industry. I thought that was really interesting. I kind of wanted to know more about what other things he's done. No, and it doesn't have to be limited to wrestling. I just thought he had a great idea, and I wanted to know what else he did. Um, I hope you do well when it comes to writing your final draft. Um, I know I need